Good day. The state television company of Western Armenia represents all the most important events of these days. Today's broadcast: Azerbaijan reminds the UN of the new status of Artsakh Armenians. Point 9 dialogue with the special reporter on the rights of indigenous peoples, the chair of the UNPFII and the board of trustees of the UN Voluntary Fund for Indigenous Peoples on UNDRIP implementation. Our link should be with Armenia only. Artsakh residents comment on their blocking of Askeran-Akna road. Sons of Western Armenia, Tiran, Khachatryan, on the issue of the Armenians of Western Armenia, unique Iron Age rock cut structures found in Dersim. The presentation of the Ktor Karin project took place in Akhalkalak Kartsakh. The second day of the expert mechanism on indigenous people on July 18 saw Azerbaijan react to the speech made by the president of the National Council of Western Armenia on Monday, July 17. In particular, the Azeri delegate stated that Mr. Armenak Abrahamyan's speech consisted in the propagation of false information and false denomination to qualify the territory of Azerbaijan, that Azerbaijan was prepared to reintegrate the Armenian minority into its culture as part of its multi-ethnic society, and that Artsakh had been recognized internationally as belonging to Azerbaijan. See Mr. Armenak Abrahamyan's reply to the UN to Azerbaijan. Mr. President, my name is Armenak Abrahamyan and I chair the National Council of Western Armenia, which has been working within the framework of the United Nations on the rights of indigenous people since 2005. During Azerbaijan's last intervention, I noted that my indigenous people in Artsakh, for whom I have the official mandate, were considered separatists. Moreover, I would like to remind you of what Azerbaijan has done. First of all, Azerbaijan's borders do not exist under international law and are based solely on a political declaration made at Alma-Ata in 1991. This is indeed a topical issue. The region of Artsakh has never been part of Azerbaijan under international law, as it has been an indigenous Armenian territory for thousands of years, long before the existence of a state now called Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan massacred the indigenous Armenians of Shushi in Artsakh in 1920, continuing the genocide of Armenians in Western Armenia by successive Turkish governments. Azerbaijan massacred the indigenous Armenians of Sumgayit, Baku, and Ganja in 1988. Azerbaijan massacred the indigenous Armenians of Maragha in Artsakh in April 1992. Azerbaijan is attacking our cemeteries, destroying the medieval Armenian cemetery of Juga in Nakhichevan in December 2005. Azerbaijan killed thousands of indigenous Armenians in 2020 in front of the whole world and is now militarily encircling the Armenians of Artsakh. Since then, Azerbaijan has been destroying the spiritual and sacred heritage of the territories it occupies as a result of this war. And do you know why? Because Azerbaijan loves us and our territories. It considers us to be Azerbaijani citizens and would like us to be more docile. So yes, it's true. And this is the only thing that's true about Azerbaijan's intervention. The indigenous Armenians living in Azerbaijan-occupied Artsakh don't want to live under Azerbaijan's yoke, and they won't live under Azerbaijan's yoke. I therefore officially invite Azerbaijan here before the international indigenous community to recognize the right to self-determination of the indigenous Armenians in Artsakh. Thank you, Mr. President. The people of Artsakh have blocked the Askeran-Akna road with concrete barriers. The aim is to demonstrate their strong opposition to the import of Azerbaijani products, including humanitarian aid or cheap goods. Senior Azerbaijani officials have recently expressed their willingness to send aid to Artsakh via Akna. In particular, Azerbaijan's Minister of Foreign Affairs Ceyhun Bayramov mentioned this during a series of working meetings. The President of the European Council, Charles Michel, also discussed the possibility of using this route with journalists after meeting with the Armenian and Azerbaijani leaders in Brussels on July 15. Artsakh Abrahamyan, a founding member of the public movement Artsakh Security Development Front, spoke about the protest action led by the movement's youth wing and a group of Artsakh citizens who blocked the Askeran-Akna road on July 18. We have made it clear that this is a red line for us. Artsakh should maintain its social and economic ties solely with Armenia. Among our main demands is the dismantling of the Azerbaijani checkpoint illegally installed on the Hakkari Bridge, which remains our top priority, said Abrahamian, adding that under the conditions of the humanitarian catastrophe, they urgently demand the establishment of a humanitarian air corridor. Tiran Khachatryan was born in Prosyan in 1971. He graduated from Yerevan State University in 1997. In 1987, he took part in the self-defense of border villages in the Noyemberian region of the Republic of Armenia as part of the Prosyan Volunteer Squad. From 1990 to 1991, he served as a liaison officer of the Air Raid Defense Army, ensuring communication between the border regions of Armenia, Artsakh and Yerevan. Between 1991 and 1994, he participated in self-defense and liberation battles in the regions of Askeran, Shahumian, and Martakert as part of the Prosyan volunteer team, which later became the separate Shushi battalion. On September 4, 2013, by decree of the Armenian president, he was appointed as the head of the Armenian Armed Forces Combat Training Department, signing a 5-year contract. On June 15, 2020, he was appointed as the first deputy chief of the General Staff of the Armenian Armed Forces. However, on February 24, 2021, he was dismissed from his position as the first deputy chief of the General Staff of the Armenian Armed Forces. In the 13th century, when Armenia lost its statehood, vermilion production declined. Then, in the 16th to 18th centuries, the Mexican red worm appeared on the world market. The Mexican red worm was smaller than the Armenian red worm, but it produced offspring 5 times a year, unlike the Armenian, which produced offspring only once a year. This is why Armenian red vermilion began to be driven out of the market, making way for Mexican vermilion. Artificial pigments were discovered in the 19th century. Their production was both easier and cheaper. It looked like they could completely replace natural dyes. While the world obsessed over the new artificial dye, the composition of vermilion manufacture was forgotten. Later time showed that artificial colors could not replace natural ones. They quickly lost their color brilliance and were also hazardous to health. Absinthe was used with confidence and without fear in foods, which could not be said of artificial colorants. Work began on the study of the scarlet worm. In 1830, the academician of the Petersburg Academy of Science and famous technologist and mechanic Losif Gamel was sent to Armenia for this purpose. As a result of his research, substantial work was published in Russian and German. In the early 19th century, Isaac der Grigorian, the reverend of the Ejmiadzin Cathedral, attempted to restore the vermilion composition, continuing the traditions of the medieval miniature painter Sahak Tsahkarar. In the 1930s, the Soviet government also tried to open up vermilion production. However, it was not possible to implement it. The war prevented it. The Ararat Scarlet Vermilion Research Project was relaunched in 1971 but never reached an industrial scale. All the while, many people have been trying to discover the secrets of obtaining vermilion dye. Of course, the manuscript preserved in the library contains sufficient information on its preparation. However, they require in-depth study. It's necessary to understand what a particular term means and what units of time are used. Recent archaeological research in Dersim has revealed a large complex of buildings in the province of Pulumur, commonly known as wedding halls, which includes rock-cut tombs and open-air worship areas. According to experts, the complex dates back to the Iron Age and has no other examples of its kind in the region. The wedding halls are situated on a rocky hill in the north-south region of the Pulumur province, at an altitude ranging from 150 to 200 meters. The complex mainly comprises 4 distinct rock-cut tombs, rock-cut rooms, platforms, stairways, and tunnels. Various religious rituals were also performed in this area. At the end of last year, Hasmik Sagatelian's Ktor Karin, a piece of Karin project, was recognized as the winner of the 4th round of the Awesome Foundation's Javak project in the village of Kartsakh in Akhalkalak. As part of the project, national costumes were created, and Hasmik also acquired a high-quality camera with which photographs will be taken of people wearing these national costumes in the commemorative sections of the Jivani House Museum. According to Genius G, today all of this has become become a reality, and the clothes have been sewn to resemble Karin's costumes. You could say that these costumes are little pieces of Karin culture, which we have to preserve because they belong to us. If we don't preserve our culture, no one else will do it for us, says Hasmik. There are 6 outfits available for women, men, and children, making it possible to take beautiful family and personal photos. Thank you for your time and attention. Now the musical part, the Armenian folk song.
Ay nubar, 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 yarishchan achne gele, sasma sarer karubar, yelele msara seiran. Ay nubar, 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 yesmaralem tu jeiran. Sasma sarer karubar, yane yegel sarerun. Ay nubar, nubar, nubar.